Hello, my dear students. So it's November month is going on, and it has been seen that it's the general tendency of students, be they are of science department, humanity, or commerce, that they do not take English as a very serious subject. But I want to say that English is a very scoring subject, so you should start studying English now because it's high time. Having said that, so once again, I'm going to upload all the chapters and all the poems of Flamingos and Vistas, which are the two books prescribed by CBSE board for class 10th. And today I'm going to take up the first poem, that is My Mother at 66 by Kamla Das. It's a family poem. So it's a family poem, and it's a poem that all we can get connected, and all we can feel connected with this poem, because India is a country, India has a culture where we see that taking care of dear and near ones, it's great, and it takes always high value. And here there's a great bonding and caring for the family members. It's shown in India. India is one such country. So in that way, all of us can feel very connected, and we all enjoy. Especially, I enjoy teaching, and at the same time, I have also seen students also enjoy equally while they are taught this poem. That is the very first poem, My Mother at 66 by Kamla Das. This poem, if we talk about the theme of this poem, it is aging. And aging is one such biological process that it goes in cycle, and nobody can escape from getting old and getting into the process of aging. Today, the one who is old, tomorrow he will get. Today who is young, tomorrow he will get old. A kid of today will grow up, get into the adolescent stage, and again, by the process of aging, that kid will also become old. So that is a very natural thing, biological phenomenon which no one can escape from it. And that's why. And one more thing, I before actually I start getting explaining the poem, I want to ask a very simple question, very straight, to all of you, dear students, that you think that you spend some quality time for your grandparents, because grandparents, they have a huge experience in their life which you cannot get anywhere. Going into any classroom, getting taught by any experienced teacher, or by any social media, or any Google account, you cannot get all these things. So that's why I would say that spend some quality time being in association with your grandparents, so they would also not feel lonely. They will have a great time, and you will be immensely benefited out of their rich experience which they have lived and acquired in their life. Now, at the same time, I want to also discuss one more thing, which is very saddening, which is not very good sign for the Indian culture, for the society and tradition which India has been teaching to the rest part of the world. That is, in recent time, we have seen the number of old age homes. They have been increasing, which was not a trend in the past. In past, we have seen that elderly members, the senior citizens, grandparents and great grandparents, they were taken care of well at home. But today we see that the concept of the family is getting changed. People are going into the small family, nuclear family, and hence the interest and the health of the grown-up people and the senior citizens, they are getting compromised, which is not a very healthy sign for our Indian society, for us. Having said that, let us discuss the theme of this poem. The theme of this poem is aging. The theme of this poem is taking care of our family members. The theme of this poem is the great bonding in human relationship, and the various complications that come across in human relationship. And the poetess, one of the finest poetess of our country, Kamla Das. She hails from Kerala, and she has composed many of her poems by her pen name, that is Madhavi Kutti. So this is the poem. Now let us get into the poem. That's a very simple poem, very short poem, but it evokes a lot of emotions. It makes you feel nostalgic, it makes you emotional and sentimental at the same time. Now, this poem is only a journey. This poem is a journey which starts from Kamla Das' mother's house to Cochin airport. That's a simple poem. That's a simple journey starting from Kamla Das' mother's house till Cochin airport. And now, one more thing I want to add, the poem, though the poem describes the relationship and bonding of a mother and daughter, but we can also take it that it could be between a father or a son, or between a father or a daughter, or between a mother or a son. It could be in any way. So now let us get into the poem. So in poem we see the Kamladas mother, she decides to give her company, her daughter Kamladas, till airport. And that's why they move together in a vehicle. And as the poet, as the title suggests, that the title is My Mother 66, that means yes, the age of Kamladas mother is 66 years old. And that's not a very tender age. If it's not very extremely old age, so then again it's not very young stage. And when some person comes to this stage, wrinkle appears, a person's, there's a growing tendency of getting dependent on others for the help and support. And the face loses the charm and brightness which we can see on the face of the young people. So this is the physical state of health of Kamlada's mother. And it is also a tendency that when people travel in a moving vehicle, they tend to fall asleep, and same thing happens to her mother also. Her mouth remains open wide, and eyes gets closed. And the face appear that somebody has put ash on her face, and that charm is also missing from her face. It also appears that there is a resemblance between her mother's face and late winter's moon. Now, what is that late winter's moon? That winter's moon, the moon of late winters, doesn't have much of strength and brightness and heat. And same thing, her mother's face is compared. So, putting all these things together, we feel that the Kamlada's mother's face resembles to that of a corpse, corpse, which means a dead body. So she almost looks like a dead body. And the Kamladas gets horrified because nobody can entertain the idea that of getting separated from one's near and dear ones. And Kamladas has this fear right from her beginning that one day she might lose her mother. Now, putting all these things, she is totally horrified. She gets very much disturbed, and to come out of this feeling, she starts looking outside the window. Now that's a illusion, or you can say that's a defect of our eyesight, which is an illusion that while moving in a vehicle, when we look outside, we find the trees sprinting, running, the houses sprinting and running, the electric post sprinting and running. So this which is an illusion, which is a defect into eyes, which actually never happens. So this, she finds that this trees are running along with the moving vehicle, and cars are also, the houses are running, electric post is running. And one more view she had outside, what was that? It was that some small young children, they all of a sudden, they burst out of a house, of a hut, as if they were put forcefully into that house. So these two things brings some change of mind into the mind of Kamladas. So inside the car there was a different condition prevailing, which was a sense of loss. There was less of life, and outside these sprinting trees and kids remind us of energy and vitality and strength and life. With all these thoughts, they finally reached to that Cochin airport, which was their destination. Reaching there, Kamladas goes, she wants to checking into the airport, and that's why she has to undergo the process of frisking and checking. Now, standing at the frisking point, standing at her mother, she waves her hands at her mother and says, "Amma, see you soon." And she bears a kind of smile on her face. Does it mean that she was happy when she was smiling? No, she was not happy. She was hiding that her fear, that what would happen, in what physical health, or in physical health, or what would be the state of health of her mother when she comes next time. Will you all fine? So to hide all this fear, she was smiling, which when she was not smiling, actually she was smiling to hide all her fear, and waved her hands at her mother and said, "See you soon, Amma." So that's a very simple poem. Now, having said that, I want to add one more line. I don't think it's required, but yes, I want to add this line. That's my personal experience, that even when I visit my hometown, so the moment I reach, even my mom, she hugs me, she cries a lot. Though my mother is not 66, but she would be somewhere around us, not 66 exactly. So I also have the same feeling. That's why this poem is very close to my heart. And she repeats the same thing while I get back to my place, this NCR or Haryana. So this poem is very close to my heart, and I think it should be very close to all your heart, because all we love our mother, and we can never think of getting separated from our mother, right? So God bless you.